Hello and welcome. Kind of a late night comic book review for me here. Seeing Red, issue number 1. I was asked by the publisher to do a review of the book, so here I am, doing a review of the book. It's a fantasy book. If it wasn't really clear from the cover, you've got a lady with an axe down here, you got monsters, fire. Looks like a fantasy book. And you know what? The world probably needs more fantasy books. How can you go wrong with them? Unless you're Ganondorf over here. He maybe is going to find that he doesn't want to be in a fantasy book because he's going to get his head bashed in because he's a bad guy. But for the good guys, how can you go wrong, right? Dude over here looks super serious. She looks great, though. The monsters look great, too, man. This dude looks super fierce. This dude's skull that he's wearing, pretty cool. I love the detail in the armor. Like, this is a pretty good cover. It's a pretty good cover. I got to give it to him. Show you just the people that worked on the book. You can see the name of the individual who asked me to review the book. In fact, he did ping me. I was like, man, I'm going to try to read it over this past weekend, and then I didn't read a single comic book. Or actually a single book. I read some news articles, and that was about it for like a week and a half, bro. So here I am, a couple days past the point where I wanted to have this done. Finally getting to it. Because it's a promise. When you promise somebody you're going to look at something, you should look at it, right? So anyway, he asked me to take a look at it, so he sent me the PDF for free. So here we are, got a little review copy. And I want to show these first couple pages here. They do a good job of kind of setting up, how do I want to put it? Setting up the crisis. You got villagers running around all over the place. Dude's looking for his daughter Olga. Some pretty desperate stuff. You can see the look of relief. As soon as I saw this right here, I knew this guy was about to die. I'm like, this dude is getting killed. It's going to be at the top of the next page. I was a little bit wrong. It wasn't the top of the next page. It was the middle of and the bottom of the next page where dude in this inset panel gets impaled. Then he gets cut in half. Gory. Poor little Olga. No dad. She's cute though. Like, she looks like she's probably a nice little kid, you know? I mean, most little kids are like nice little kids, right? How can you go wrong? But she's like crying. She's got that look of relief. And then I'm glad we didn't really see her face here. I just kind of zoomed in on the eyes. That's bad enough. Pretty bad. Now, this is what I thought. I'm going to tell you what my thought process was here. I saw the blonde kid. Let me go back up to the first page. Saw the blonde kid, saw the blonde her, and I thought, oh, we're getting like her origin story. You know, it's like at the beginning of Red Sonja, right? When you see like what Gedrin does to her. I'm talking about the movie, by the way. When you see what like Gedrin's men do to her, and then she goes on her quest for revenge. Like, I thought that's what was about to happen here. And in fact, we kind of get this. Man, I'm showing too much. We see like the character from the cover riding in right here. I just showed too many pages of this book, but we're going to keep going. So I'm like, oh, this has got to be it. And we're doing like a time skip. Like, she was rescued by these dudes. Right? Like, she was rescued by these dudes. And then here she is riding with the dudes. 14 years or whatever later. Like, I totally thought that was where we were going. That was not where we were going. I was surprised. Uh, so they fight like the monsters and stuff. And we get some plot advancement. We get some like backstory. We understand what's going on is happening. And then she goes to beat up some bad guys. And I might have zoomed in one click too many. Hold on. It's a little too far out. Whatever, we'll make do. So these are like some bad guys that were like raiding the town and stuff. They're related to like the main plot line of what's going on. And I just kind of wanted to show like the actiony stuff off here with this sequence, because this bottom row of panels, like, this does a good job of setting up like the scene here. She jumps in, boom, she's surrounded by dudes, pretty bad looking dudes too, and then she fights them all. So sword clash, dagger stab, shung, dude almost takes her head off, you bloody, and then shlunk. Ooh, man. Oh, I'm sorry, the sound effect wasn't shlunk, it was chuk, but kind of same difference. Pretty satisfying little sequence. I'm going to not tell you what happens through all that. But I did kind of want to jump ahead a little bit to here. The culling, this group. that this guy belongs to and she's hanging out with. His name's Mazos, by the way. Her name's Ella. That was really the only reason I knew she wasn't the kid, Olga, was her name was Ella. So, hey, there we go. And this is the only thing in this whole dang book that came off as being kind of wrong to me. Bottom panel in the middle here. You've grown up to be that word, young woman. And I know we're not exactly speaking in like old English and stuff like that. But this dude didn't seem like the kind of dude that would be like using that kind of language. So it really just kind of stood out as being a really odd word choice right there. But otherwise, like I liked the dialogue. It moved okay. The art in places was really good looking. I like the what's the polite way to term it? The fact that she just was in this big fight and she's got like the obvious signs of it. Like she didn't come out of that engagement looking clean, no injuries at all. She comes out of it. She's got bruises and probably cuts and scrapes and stuff. A little bit of realism here in our crazy demon hunting fantasy stuff. Very nice. It's actually a pretty cool book. And I recommend if you're into like fantasy stuff, you go check this out. Let me go back up to the cover here. Let me go back up to the cover here. To kind of show that the cover piece is definitely like the best one. This is just superbly rendered. The interior art is just kind of it's pretty good, but boy, compared to that cover, this like just pulls you in. It's like everything here is just so nicely rendered. The coloring job on top of it's great. You got like the little crosshatch shading and stuff. Very, very nice. And like I said, the interior art's okay. Like I'm not really dissing the interior art. There's some great expressiveness to it. I love this guy's faces right here. Like the progression of emotions he's going through is great. The progression of emotions on the kid is great. Who was the artist? Art by Mannix Francisco. You did a good job being expressive, my dude. I got to give you that. You did a good job of getting those feelings, those expressions out there for people to look at. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was Seeing Red. Check it out if you haven't already checked it out. And I don't know if there's a Kickstarter or what for this. I'm going to go look on Kickstarter real quick and see if there's a current campaign for like the next issue or something. If there is, I'll link in the description. But otherwise, keep your eyes peeled for Seeing Red. Have a great day, and bye-bye.